Joining me live via Skype is a global affairs analyst from Washington, District of Columbia, Calvin Dark. Thank you for joining us on TVC News at 7. In just about 48 hours, Congress would decide what happens, whether or not Joe Biden will be inaugurated on the 20th of January. What do you see playing out there?
Well, I think the most important thing to keep in mind is, despite what President Trump says on Twitter, the election's already been decided. And in our system, it's the Electoral College that decides it. What's supposed to happen on January the 6th is that the Congress is supposed to count by the states. This isn't up for a vote of changing the election or all of the other things that President Trump and his few supporters have asserted that could happen on the 6th.
All right, President Trump has insisted that the November 3rd election was marred by unprecedented electoral vote, but no single shred of evidence just yet to back that up. How are Americans reacting to this?
Well, I think that whether or not all Americans would say it, I think all Americans, Democrat or Republican, regardless of who you supported in the election, they know that there weren't irregularities to overturn the election, because if there were, we would know about it. And even the people like the Secretary of State of Georgia and some others who really wanted President Trump to win, they recognize we live in a democracy where President Trump lost. And so I think that while there are many people who are supporting President Trump and that are coming up to protest, I don't think there's anybody who actually can point to any fraud or irregularities that could change the election, despite how much President Trump wants us to think so, as it appears in his head.
All right, but then what is the perception really of President Trump? It's just a few days to the expiration of this tenure, and he's continued to campaign in the media, social media, making really strong claims that have no backings, trying to sway the thought and belief systems of the people about the elections conducted just about 2 months ago.
Well, I think, it's unfortunate that over the last 4 years, the bar has become really low of what we expect from a president. Let's keep in mind, yesterday on a recorded call, he asked a Republican official to recalculate the votes to give him one more than Joe Biden had. I don't know in what democracy that is considered at all legal, fair, just, ethical, but that's where we are. Fortunately, though, with our system, it's very clear. Donald Trump can say and do what he wants. I'm sure he will tonight when he goes down to Georgia, and will until 11:59 on January 20th. But at noon, January 20th, as our country has voted, Joe Biden will be the president, regardless of what President Trump says.
All right, and on Wednesday, we'll have Vice President Pence preside over Congress, that sitting where they get to ratify the election of Joe Biden. Well, we haven't heard or seen VP Pence echo fraud, allegations of fraud, but then his chief of staff mentioned that the VP shares the concerns of millions of Americans about voter fraud and irregularities. This is like a test of loyalty for the vice president. How do you see him manage the situation come Wednesday?
Well, as Vice President Pence has done since the beginning of the Trump term, he knows what's right. He's a very intelligent man. He knows that there were no real allegations of fraud that have been substantiated. So what he does is support a vague notion of Americans being concerned that there were. What really happened is there are Americans that are not happy that President Trump lost the election. And that is what happens in elections. So what you'll notice with Vice President Pence from now on to the January 6th, in public, he's going to say things that serve President Trump's ego to soothe that. But he's not going to say anything that is as outlandish as President Trump has been saying since he lost in early November.
All right, let's wait to see how all of this play out. Global affairs analyst Calvin Dark, thank you for joining us on TVC News at 7.
Thank you.